initially thought this role wasn't meant for you, but after speaking with Jojo and David, you changed your mind. What was it about their vision that convinced you to make on Marvin?
I love action movies. But, honestly, over the last, few decades, action heroes have a certain look to it, a certain type. A lot of them have big muscles and they look really threatening, somebody that you don't want to mess with. And kind of, that's kind of how I grew up watching these kind of movies. But so when I read the script and I loved it, but I just didn't see myself in Marvin Gable. I thought it was, somebody else like Jason Statham or, your traditional action star. But it was not until I went in and I met with 87 North and our director, Jojo Eusebio, and they said, we're actually trying to change the status quo. We're actually trying to create a new action hero, an action hero that doesn't look threatening at all. But when the situation calls for it, you understand how bad he is.
فمارفن هو سمسار عقارات يجبر على العودة لحياته السابقة المليئة بالقاتلين المأجورين وتصير معه أحداث كثيرة بقالب كوميدي.
Marvin Gable.
Marvin was peaceful.
And also somebody who was not afraid to show his feelings. Then all of a sudden I was intrigued about that idea. And then I said, yes, that is something that I can do. Here we are. I'm so excited that I was able to see it from a different angle.
ونفس الأمر حصل مع المخرج جوناثان اللي بسبب رؤيته المختلفة لهذا النص خلته يختاره عشان يكون أول عمل يخرجه بنفسه بعد مسيرته الطويلة مع المخرج ديفيد ليتش اللي تعاون معه بأفلام كثيرة وذلك كمصمم مشاهد قتالية ومساعد مخرج مثل فيلم ذا فول جاي العام الماضي وديد بول عام 2018.
What made Love Hurts the right project for you to start your career? I mean, as a director.
It's funny, because Dave is my mentor for many years, and I just kind of followed his pathway to directing. And him and Kelly McCormick, his wife, one day they came up to me and said, "You have to decide what you want to do for the rest of your career. You should think about directing." So they would give me scripts, and then this script kept coming up. And I read it, and the thing is, when you're a director, you have to look at the source material and see if you can inject yourself into that script. So when I read it, that first incarnation of it, that stuck out to me more.
Your background is in action choreography, but directing also requires handling emotional depth and storytelling. How did you balance between action and your background with a new career, a new path?
Yeah. Well, it's like when you second unit direct and you action direct, it's a different type of direction. It's almost like you're just very specific. You go, fall here, do this, you're looking scared, this is going this way. It's more of a result direction. But when you're doing, now you're a main unit director, you're handling emotional performance, right? Which is a different thing. And you can't really tell them how to feel or what to do. You have to kind of like let your actors take ownership of it and then see what their decisions are.
وهذا كان تحدي كبير بالنسبة له.
That part for me was like the newest thing, like learning to deal with the emotional performance. But I think because I had a background, I used to train people, and I used to get them at various stages of vulnerability, right? So I kind of used that same, and then you know what to either encourage good habits or stop bad habits. So in this sense, it's almost I applied the same process. In a weird way.
ووجود ممثل مثل كي ساعده بشكل كبير في تنفيذ هذا العمل بالطريقة الصحيحة، خاصة انه كي ايضا مصمم مشاهد حركة وستانت وعنده خبرة كبيرة في هذا المجال.
I believe Key has a unique background in both action and action choreography. How did that influence your approach to directing him, especially in the fighting sequences?
That part is great for me because usually when you get cast members or you have to kind of train them from scratch. And so even the time frame that you have, like even before they can do choreography, you have to get them in shape and then you got to see what they can do physically. He already came with those tools. So I skipped that whole process. It's just really about creating fun moments and making good choreography as opposed to try to get him in super shape or get him flexible or do these things. But because he already had that shorthand, it made it a lot easier, right, for me. And also too, the shoot schedule is really short. So to have someone that experience, and we can do a lot of takes fast and like over and over and over because he already has that background.
I believe you've trained in action choreography for years, but never had the chance to fully showcase your skills on screen. So how did it feel to finally bring that part on the big screen?
It was amazing. You know, I studied martial arts for a long time, for many years when I was a kid. And I got a black belt thinking that I'm going to be able to use it in a movie and become an action star. So I was a little disappointed when I didn't get that. So I put those skills away. And I didn't call upon those skills until, you know, I started working behind the camera as an action choreographer. But it was still a little bit different because I didn't have to do those moves as an actor would.
لكن في هذا الفيلم اللي يلعب فيه دور البطولة قدر كي يحقق حلمه.
You want the old me? You got him. This time around, it was really exciting because now I get to show everybody, you know, what I wanted to show all along. And it was a lot of fun, but it was also very challenging making this movie too. But after seeing it, I'm very proud of it and I can't wait to do it again.
You've spoken about wanting to create a supportive environment on set as the lead here in Love Hurts. How did you set the tone for the cast and the crew during the production?
You know, the producer, the director, and the number one on the call sheet, as we call them, really sets the tone. And I've had a lot of great examples, you know, working with Harrison Ford, Tom Hiddleston, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Lee Curtis, and I noticed, you know, how they treat the crew. So for me, this time, being the leading man in this, I wanted to do just that. And it was important to me that I wanted to make the entire cast and crew feel, one, welcome, and also feel that whatever position they are in, whatever contributions they've made, is just as important as it's mine. Love Hurts.